Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to TCG University. Said it right this time. It's me, Noah, here with.
James.
We're doing some more Final Fantasy Study Hall podcast with the background being provided to you by our duo, Palace of the Dead Run on Final Fantasy 14. Have fun with that one. Um,
Yeah.
Super simple housekeeping stuff. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Support us by checking us out on Patreon at patreon.com/TCG University, Facebook, also at facebook.com/TCG University. You guys are already here on the YouTube, so that's cool. And then we also have a TCG Player Pro shop, which is tcguniversity.tcgplayerpro.com, where we have tons of singles for various other games that we also play and sell, not just Final Fantasy in and of itself. And then shout out to our Patreon sponsors, which is Chris Bromley, Josh Hillers, and Sean O'Brien. Thanks you guys for staying with us through thick and thin, because we're in the thin part right now, trying to get thick. And we also have a sponsor with Dex Protection. Hopefully, we will have the link down in the description for an affiliate link. Otherwise, you guys can just check out Dex Protection. James uses them all the time.
One of my favorite things.
Today's topic, before we kick into Palace of the Dead here, is going to be us just kind of going over the ban cards. It shouldn't be a super long one, but we're just going to go through all the cards that are banned in both constructed, title, and the L6 or L3 formats. At least the ones that we're aware of that they have on the website. I think there's a few that haven't been put on there, but we'll get to those as well. And then just kind of talk and see if we think they should be unbanned, if we think they should stay banned, and stuff like that. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into Palace of the Dead. So we're going to start off with Opus 1 Riku. Opus 1 Riku is a 2 CP backup, which hopefully she'll be on screen if I edit this properly, is a 2 CP backup, all bed that says tap a wind, or pay a wind tapper. Your opponent puts one card from the top of his or her deck into the break zone, and then mug, which is just special, pay a wind tap. Your opponent puts the top 2 cards of his or her deck into the break zone, draw a card. James, what are your thoughts on Riku?
She's just banned because it's an infinite. That's it.
Because she's an infinite?
Yep.
Explain why you say she's an infinite.
You can infinite her with, they're attacking us already. She's an infinite you do with, what is it, Diabolos or whatever? Or not Diabolos, what's the other one? It's like the 5-drop wind one.
I'm trying to, what do you, 5-drop wind, Diabolos?
Is it Diabolos?
That restands backups?
No, it's the one that just returns everything.
Valefor?
Valefor.
Valefor only returns forwards.
Oh, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's something else.
Yeah, I think you're thinking
just because she
something.
mills
I
out, she can mill your opponent easily.
Terror. Yeah, but don't you think, so,
You're a mill simp, so like it's...
I'm a mill simp, so I'm going to put that out there already for all of you people listening and watching. I love mill. Sorry, I'm just using pomanders.
Absolutely.
Those are hard. I love mill, and I think the game could use for an alternate win con under mill. And I think one specific deck that plays mill that you could still play around, I think is fine, in my opinion. Playing it in F5, where she wasn't banned, she felt really good, and she still didn't feel overpowered. I still felt like she was an easy card to deal with.
She just makes it to where if you're able to draw the game out, you just lose.
Well, yeah, sure, but like that, control decks would be the same way. It's just a long game.
Sure, the control deck still has to either kill you or
I got my phone to leave. Nice.
Make sure it doesn't draw more cards. At least with her, you take out the part of the game which is somebody has to die because you're gonna mill them out. You add extra to the end of the game.
Do you think that she would be as toxic of a deck archetype to play as opposed to things like Chaos existing? She's not going to work as fast as Chaos, and she has probably the most linear game plan, I would say. I don't think she would be. I personally don't think she would be as much of a problem.
I think somebody can figure out a game plan.
Sorry, I'm looking at different directions to go. You just lead, I'll follow. Talking and playing, we make this hard on ourselves.
I think somebody would figure out a game plan that just makes her practically infinite.
Yeah, but at that point, I mean, you could probably play a cast count deck around her, where it's just a lot of restanding. But I will say some of the cards we'll get to as well limit her capabilities, or limit the chances of her being as busted, in my opinion, I guess. Because they don't exist anymore. I think personally, I think Riku should be unbanned. I don't think Riku would be too oppressive in the meta. I think she has the chance to be a meta relevant card. Not S tier, but I think she would be easily an A tier card in a deck that specializes around the fact of milling. The issue is you can't just put all of your all of your apples into the basket that is mill. You have to kind of spread out the way you build the deck out, because obviously if you have no defense, you just get pile driven into the dirt anyways, you know.
I'm gonna turn down the sounds to make it easier for you later. I'll have to do that.
Oh yeah, please and thank you. Appreciate it. I should use this on higher floors. I should not have used that now.
I just think it makes. I just think it'd be too easy for somebody to figure it out. Like, there's already a couple of infinites that exist in the game. And
yeah, but because she's a backup,
there are things people are complaining about that I don't think are actual issues right now. So.
Yeah, but I can't see the ability to constantly restand her. I mean, I think you could get an easy 4, and you would have to push for 5 times to use her ability. But I think at that point, like, that's like a turn out of every 5 in your deck or something, that like you would have to set a turn like that up to get that mill out. And sure, that would be 10 cards out of a deck potentially. I just think it's a lot to work for. But yeah, I think Riku is a really cool card. I really like I like card games having alternate win cons that aren't just do the one thing. I think mill's a really fun way to play the game. Probably not for your opponent, but I enjoy playing against mill, even if I get milled out, only for the simple fact that I like the added pressure of trying to figure out if my deck can handle all different types of situations, which is kind of how I tailor my decks to be as toolboxy as possible to deal with situations like this. So it's a good way to test and see if my deck functions the way I want it to and the way it should.
I think mill's a fine deck to have. It's just
I don't think
it's
it'll be as
it literally is an unintended way to play the game though, which is whatever.
I think all card games have. I don't know. I feel like mill's just I can't say intended or unintended. Mill's a way that the game is to end. It's one of the win cons.
I mean, like, milling your opponent out as a game plan was never an intended mode of anything until somebody made it an intended mode of play.
Until people made mill cards.
Yeah. Till people decided I'm going to use this mill card to win the game.
Sure.
It never wasn't all the cards that existed beforehand weren't intended to mill your opponent out. They were intended to lesser options or give yourself more options. And people just use it to abuse it.
Oakley feels so good.
I personally don't care either way. Oh, it pooped out another treasure box. I could go either way. The only thing I don't care if we unbanned it. If it's gonna create an infinite deck, I'd be really not. I would care less about.
I just don't think it would create an infinite deck. I think, like I said, I think you could easily do 3 activations, or 4. But I think if you're pushing for anything more than that, your entire deck is revolving around that to like waste turns setting up for that, and I just think it slows you down. So I think the risk reward kind of teeters out for it. You know, like the reward is really good, risk is a little rough. For her?
Yeah, what was the original way that
it was just YRP. So YRP was just, to my knowledge, YRP was just really good. And it was the fact that games lasted longer because there weren't, the cards that we have now that potentially speed up games, like double hitters and things like that, or being able to build such wide boards that are very aggressive. So like, I don't know why we both went for the chest. So yeah, it was more of a combination of that than anything. Like, she just ends games because games were forced to go to extended times.
I thought there was a mill problem with her, but
no.
I didn't play in set 1, so
I mean, I think I think the mill was like an issue for some decks because she would speed up a deck, quote unquote, faster than it wanted to be, or she would messes with decks sometimes. But I think there's like Cat 8 being as prevalent as it is card wise, not archetype wise, with Fujin Raijin makes Riku a risk reward. Do you mill them cards and potentially hit a Fujin Raijin and suffer the consequences of that, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think Cat 8 as a whole is a problem.
So I think there's still, I don't think as a whole Cat Eat's a problem. I think Fujin Raijin are the issues, mainly Raijin, because Raijin's haste ability is nuts, but...
Yeah, but they only have to hit it once. They only need to have 10 in the discard. They don't need the whole discard in the discard to do it.
No, but they still want Raijin out, right? Or otherwise the 10 in the discard doesn't matter. That's the thing. That's why I think Raijin
is like they don't need like their entire discard pile in there just to have their abilities. They just need 10. And 10's like turn 3. They can ignore the whole thing, just have that ability, and it'd still be a good card.
But yeah, I would say I think Riku should be unbanned, personally. That's where I'll leave it at with that one.
I don't care either way.
Next card, Opus 3 Guido. 3-drop water backup, Sage Cat 5, that says he does not activate during the active phase, and then you can pay a water, activate Guido. Pay a water, pay 1, tap, choose a forward of 5 or more the opponent controls, put it on top of its owner's deck. I think Guido should stay banned, personally. Only because Guido Barlai was a really gross combination. And it's still a possible combination where you just pay 1 water constantly by using Guido himself, and you create an infinite scenario where you're hitting their board for 3k, and they can't do anything about it. So, because and even if they try, yeah, because Guido just says pay a water, activate him. Yeah. So because he's a water backup, you pay for him and you can activate him. Now, he's not super easy to search, because Sildra doesn't exist anymore, and that would have been gross because he's a cat. Sildra, I think, does forwards. Let me check here real quick. Nope, character. So yeah, Sildra would have been gross with Guido if they both existed at the same time, because then you just play Sildra Guido decks and you call it good. Because Sildra is pseudo searchable off of things like Ico and whatnot.
Whoop, I'm gonna die. Whoop, I'm gonna die.
Throw the witching pawn down. James, you should be fine. Well, maybe not. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to get touched by these.
Damage. Oh, they do some damage. Okay.
Yep, there I went.
Oh no, James.
Happens. I think Guido's. The problem I have with Guido is you just needed to win. You just need to do your game plan. And it creates an infinite game state, which is abusable, which is crazy.
Yeah, Guido's literally just there to clear
behind you when you get a chance. It's right here in this room, but you have to go clear some more stuff. You gotta go clear more rooms.
Oh, it's dimmed, yeah.
Yeah. His infinite capabilities on himself just make things forever. As long as you can figure out what you want to do and you have a game plan for it. Like him, Barlai, like you said, you could do, what's the other one? Hope does it too. Hope will let you re-ready more.
Is that card lighting up?
No. You have to clear out a couple of rooms before it'll let the card activate.
Boo.
Yeah, it happens. You get a real sick view of this sick eyes monster on my screen.
Overall, I'll say Guido should stay banned. I think Guido's
Guido's just not
too
working
damn
properly.
good. He pays for himself. That's why he's an infinite. If it was like tap a water other than Guido, I think it wouldn't be too big of a problem. But because he just says, "Oh yeah, tap me and restand me," is Barlai on board, hit their board, and Barlai's searchable because he's a cat 10. So like, it's not that hard.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else you could do with him. Reactivate the carnivore turns on.
Cool.
There's a dude in my
I'll get it in
room
a sec.
now.
There's only 3 rooms in this.
That's good for us. Easy. I'm taking so much damage now, though, so I gotta be more careful. Yeah, I'm not big on Guido coming back just because this will get infinited somehow.
Yeah. Next one is Opus 4. Opus 4 Dataluma. 4-drop 8k, Earth, Martial Artist, Cat 6, yes. I don't know why I questioned that. That says, sorry, I gotta pull it back up. When Dataluma is chosen by your opponent, summons their abilities, choose up to 1 forward the opponent, choose up to 1 forward the opponent controls, deal it 4k damage. When Dataluma is dealt damage, choose up to 1 forward the opponent controls, deal it 4k damage. I think Dataluma is fine because they basically just made a semi-better version of Dataluma. I mean, minus targeting himself for abilities under the Serpent General, the Earth one. Because he says the same thing except for he deals 8k damage, and nobody plays that card. So I think Dataluma could be unbanned. The only thing it gets iffy was is if people start playing Cactar Dataluma again, but I think Dataluma is too slow for that to even matter.
Yep.
So I think that
there's no good way to search it, and it's relies
he's a
on
cool
you
cat
having two cards that aren't really searchable.
Yeah, like, I mean, Cactar is searchable because it's a monster, so Realm can play it if you really want it to go that route. But it's just not necessary, so it doesn't really matter. I think Dataluma's fine. He's not as oppressive as he used to be. The game's not as slow as it used to be. So there's not really anything you have to worry about. Yeah, 100%. Next card we have is Gesper. 2-drop Ice Monster that just says tap, or sorry,
Ben and Oliver in the chat.
War Machine. And he says tap him for, oh, are they? I can't see anything. I don't have my TV up anymore here.
I only have one screen. I'm looking at the band.
Let me see if I can pull this up correctly on my phone. Shoutouts to my boys.
There we go.
Yeah, we'll get. Sorry, I see you guys' messages, and I feel so bad that I'm like so behind on everything. But yeah, we'll get to Dataluma, Oliver. Don't worry, or not Dataluma. Doga. Boy, do I have words about my boy Doga.
That's the entire podcast, really.
Really, I want to talk about Doga. So yeah, Gasper, 2-drop, Ice Monster, Theater Rhythm, Cat. What does that say? 8. VII? Yeah, 8. Tap him. Each player discards 1 card. And then, yeah, only usable during your turn. And he doesn't break himself, which is hilarious. That's what makes him gross. He's banned because of that.
Yeah, he's multiplayable.
And he's multiplayable.
Just free discard.
I think
almost uninteractable.
I think that card should stay banned. And one of the reasons I think that is because that that card, especially being multiplayable, almost enables Icon of Icons to become more of a playable card, because now you can put it to a situation where you and your opponent have no cards in hand reliably. Same with Lightning as well. You have a solid way of just discarding cards with Lightning now. Where did you go? I want to make sure we're in the same space while we're fighting.
There's a succubus behind us.
Oh, didn't see that.
Sick.
So yeah, I think Gesper should stay banned, personally.
Yeah.
I think
Like
Mono Ice is already gross enough as it is.
Anyways.
Yeah, Mono Ice is already gross enough as it is, and the fact that Gesper doesn't break himself to do his ability, I think, is insane. And is it only usable on your turn? It's only usable on your turn, which is good, but it doesn't really matter. Next card we have is Thaumaturge, another Opus 5 card. Thaumaturge says that when he enters, your opponent discards a card. If they have 2 or less cards in hand, he gains 4k power, so he's a 5k. I think it's just putting a body on board that says pitch a card. But I think Thaumaturge, I don't know.
It's the multiplayable thing, I believe.
Yeah, I think Thaumaturge, because he's multiplayable, it makes it a lot worse. Otherwise, I'd say you could probably just get rid of him, or you could probably do with him back in the game.
Also the fact that he's a 2-drop.
Is he a standard unit?
Yeah.
Let me double check that. Yeah, and he's a standard unit, so he's theoretically searchable off of things like Wool to dump him into your break zone, Luso. So I'll say, tentatively, I think Thaumaturge should stay banned. I think that card could be exploited pretty easily. So I'm gonna turn into a Manticore. That sounds like fun. Clear these floors a bit better, you know. Next one is Mione. I will also just put it out there immediately. I think Mione should stay banned, but we'll get to that. Mione is a 2-drop win backup, Proprietus, Cat 14. When she enters the field, choose a character other than Mione you control. You may return it to its owner's hand. If you do so, draw a card. Yeah, Mione just says bounce to do draw. She's just Chocobo on a backup. And with certain I mean, it's not as easy to bounce her back now, but the fact that she bounces any character and nets you a card back, I think it's insane. And she just builds your back row up. I think Mione should still stay out.
I think if she didn't draw, it'd be a fine thing.
She'd be a lot more balanced, yeah, because you're getting 4 CP out of Mione realistically.
Yeah.
At least you're adding, your hand comes out with 4 CP, even though you're paying to play her, depending on if you pitch a card or not. But yeah, she is, as Oliver said, thanks, just free value, realistically. And that also brings me to the next card, Cat 12, or not Cat 12, Opus 12. FFCC, 3-drop backup Althea, who's also a princess, so she's also searchable, which is gross. Yeah, Althea should stay banned. Althea says when she enters the field, choose a character, activate it, and then you can tap Althea, choose the character you control, bounce it, and Althea back to hand. So the thing was like people would just bounce Mione and Althea back to reuse them for whatever reason they needed to, cast counting and all that. Like Windstorm was really good at that time because of that. On top of the fact that Althea just says reactive protection on anybody is really good. And she really helps with your build turns too. Again, free value. Althea goes well with a lot of cards. She went well with Zidane because she allowed for Zidane to mill the opponent a lot more efficiently. And she also pseudo protected him in case anything was to happen to him. Especially with the new 2-drop Fire Zidane, the Fire Wind Zidane, I think she'd be really good with him. Because then, like, after you swing with him, you just go, cool, I'll pick him back up, play him again on the next turn. Or if you really wanted to be cheeky, now this is like a pipe dream, right? But like the real cheeky thing would be like, oh, you're gonna kill my Zidane, I'll fade it back to my hand, pop Edgar, play Zidane again. That way you get the potential of 3 cards instead of 2, because you get to take it on the turn he's played too. I think we're good here.
You get potential of 4 cards on the same turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and building back row is super easy. Not to mention, again, Althea is a princess, meaning she's searchable off of Sarah, and I still think Sarah's a really good backup. She's not played as much anymore because there's just a few other backups that are more usable with current decks, but I still think the ability to search a princess is always just gross, so. Oh, we're on 34. Cool.
Next up would be Sildra. Also,
yeah, Sildra deserves to stay banned. As much as I hate saying it, Sildra deserves. Sorry, this is where the fun part of this comes in. Yeah, but we're not talking about if they should errata it. And I even think making Sildra just say Cat 5 is gross sometimes, just because.
Nah, but at least it's
Warrior Light gets the biggest bonus out of that, and that's the growth part.
Yeah, but that's whatever.
You're giving Warrior Light a key piece that nobody else can realistically.
Maybe they make it Cat 5 and then ban Wool.
It still wouldn't matter because you can still search out Ferris and Bart's,
which is fine.
So you still get Bart's abilities,
which is fine. Guess what? There's no good water. The only water you play are Lina's, which you want on board, or Breathius, which you want on board.
Gross.
Like,
and King Tycoon's a Cat 5. It searches your backup line. Like, actually, no, that card needs to stay banned. That searches backups. That searches backups, James, and searching backups or backups that play backups is gross. No, thank you. I take it back. Card should stay banned. 100. Well, I no take it back on that. I said the card should stay banned, but 100% now. I'm even doubling down more on that. Yeah. So Sildra is a Cat 12 summon that says it's a water summon that says pay for search for 2 water characters or any mix of 2. Water character or Cat 5 character, so you can do a mix of either. So it was just really good generic searching, good value. Sildra is not allowed to come back into the game. I think Sildra would wreck the game so hard. It would give certain decks way too much of an advantage, especially if you wanted to go off your errata, be like it can only hit Cat 5s. It would give Wool decks way too much advantage, even if you wanted to stipulate 4 CP Wool doesn't exist, they get to build way too quickly in my opinion. Now instead of it being like
I don't think
6 cards,
I don't think they play King Tycoon if you ban it, if you hit it. Well, they might. They still might. I still see the point because you don't really play green. You won't really need to play
Arc.
green.
You want to play Arc?
Oh, I guess you could.
Because Arc's good, so it's a card to play Arc, and they usually play Zidane, so you still want to be able to play Zidane. What you don't need is Arc, so you don't need to play Pyro ever.
The entire deck changes if you do.
Yeah, but again, James, I love you. You're stipulating this on banning 1 card and erratating this.
Yeah, but I mean, the stipulation is they're going to ban a card they're never going to touch.
What does Equilibrium do? Actually, restores my HP.
Ooh, that's cool.
Sick. Now I'm a green tank. Oh, I guess I should probably use this instead, just because we're in a state of fighting multiple
We're
people,
gonna
doing
die.
single attacks.
Next up is our favorite card. Hashtag 2025 unbanned
Hashtag
Doga.
free Doga 2025. Let's fucking dive into Doga, dude. Doga's a 6 CP 7K, so he's definitely not curving. Magus Cat 3 forward, that is Earth and Water, that says for every 3 summons in your break zone, Doga gains 1k power. When Doga enters the field, you draw a card for each summon you discarded to cast Doga. And then when Doga attacks, if you had 9 or more summons in your break zone, you may cast a summon from your hand without paying the cost.
Hashtag
So
Doga
kind of
did nothing wrong.
Doga is not on curve at all, realistically speaking, but because you're pretty much playing him for free and cycling your hand, I think that makes up for it, because usually you're just going to ditch 3 summons for Doga anyways, and then draw 3 cards off of Doga. He is a 6-drop though, so he's a little hard to get rid of. Just because he has 7k power doesn't mean 7k power is super easy to deal with in the early game. I can heal. I think we're done here, right? Yeah. And then the 9 summon thing's a little iffy with me. I think you could get to 9, but I think because like things like Une exist, usually you're just gonna remove summons anyways. I don't think his on attack trigger comes in handy super well. I mean, there is the pipe dream of being like, well, Doga can just play Arc for free, so I never have to play Chaos and feel bad about drawing a Chaos in my Doga deck. Shit, she teared me. Whoops. But yeah, I think Doga is fine being unbanned personally. I'm sure there's a way you can probably try and break Doga, but I think the issue with Doga was that he had Sarah and Mashari who hid behind him, or who came after him. Yeah, sorry, Sophie and Mashari who came after him, and Mashari being like, "Oh, you already put 3 summons in the break zone for me to trigger at least once immediately" is really good. And Mashari doesn't exist anymore, and Sophie's limited to 1 of. Sophie's not too big of an issue. Neither of those are. Sophie definitely is not like a quote unquote meta card. She's she's limited. She's the only restricted card in the game right now. So like, you're limited on what you can do with her.
Which is crazy because just why? Why 1 of?
I mean, why not, right? If you gather them all, I'm just gonna hit them with fire. It just makes it easy.
It was just these 2, so.
Cool. Oh,
What do you want me to do with them?
There we go. I mean, fight him, obviously. Oh, what the hell, James?
Yeah,
How did you hit the pacifist? I can't do anything. Everybody can auto attack except for me.
Oh, good.
God, I'm only gonna have 8 seconds in this form now. Yeah, they wanted to kill that deck because the Doga deck was literally sit on your hands and do nothing. The Doga deck was like a mill deck without actually playing like active mill. You literally just sat on your hands and did nothing and saw.
I would have rather they banned her.
Yes,
Oliver. I would rather they banned her. I hate limiting a card when you have no active way of seeing the card do anything.
Why are we standing there?
I was paralyzed.
Oh.
So I kept trying to move and it paralyzed me.
That's funny.
I got parahaxed by the game.
Our passage is open. The card of return begins to glow.
She's easy to remove, but like it's just I would rather just see something banned than be told I can only play 1 of it.
I think limiting her is fine. I think if you could see,
I think it's a fine choice too.
Decks I can play right
I would have rather seen her banned, so I don't even have to.
But also, I mean that's fair. But also, I think her. I mean, we'll move on to her in a bit. Overall, James, what would you like to say about Doga and why Doga should be unbanned? If I haven't
Doga
covered
literally
it.
did nothing in that deck. That deck did not
You
care
played
about
the deck,
Doga
right?
at all. I played it. No, I played against it a
Oh,
lot.
you just played against it.
I played against it so many times when we went to the light or whatever.
Yeah, because that was like the premier deck at the time.
Yep. I watched so many mirror matches that were not Doga dependent. I watched so many games happen that were not Doga dependent.
The only thing Doga did in that deck was set up for Mashari.
Yep.
And cycle your. So he did 3 things. He set up for Mashari. He cycled your hand, and then he also said, "I give Sophie 4K." That was it.
Yep. Which tells me the problem isn't Doga or the other 2.
Your opinions are weird. I agree, Oliver. They are sometimes. He knows this though. But here's the thing. He doesn't care, which is fine.
Here's the thing. I'm okay at this game.
Oh wait, where's our
It's over here.
Carter passages over here? Okay, cool. But yeah, so next one is Mashiri. Mashiri is an Opus 14 card, so she came it was basically the Opus 14 meta. That's kind of when I like jumped out the game for a bit. Was during this time because I have very limited Opus 14 cards. We have very limited Opus 14 cards. So Mashiri was a 2-drop light forward that said, or 2-drop light princess, so theoretically still searchable as well. FFBE, that the cost required to cast your summon is reduced by 1, cannot become 0. That's cool. Remove 3 summons in the break zone from the game. Select one of the following actions: draw a card, choose a forward, bounce it back to its owner's hand. Or during this turn, the cost required to cast your next summon is reduced by 3, cannot become 0. So basically 4, because Mashiri just statically reduces cost by 1. James, take her away. I'm gonna let you talk about this one because you played against this one probably the most. I played against Mashiri a bit before she got banned.
This card just says the game takes 60 turns to play. I watched so many mirror matches at the light where the entire turn basis was Mashiri remove 3 to make you bounce your Mashiri back to your hand. Oh, cool. Response, I'll mill 3, draw card. Oh, response, I'll mill 3, draw card.
Yeah, remove 3.
And, yeah. Sorry, remove, not mill. And it was just both sides doing that with their Mashiris on this board at the same time. Trying to mill into options like Mist Dragon or force plays on the... take that, I wasn't close enough. Force the other Mashiri players to have to do their Mashiri plays first for their draw cards and their push, so that way you had more advantage with your discard pile. So things like Leviathan to bounce it back to hand, or not bounce it back to hand, to put it at the bottom of your deck.
James, where'd you go?
I'm fighting like this.
Oh, you went back to the main room.
Giant cow.
The Nightmare Kato Bleep. I'm not even gonna attempt it. 30 minutes remaining to complete. Oh, we gotta go. At this point, we just fight what we can and call it good.
We're halfway through. How many minutes is it normally?
Oh, I guess we have 4 more floors. It's about I think
they give us like an hour, right? Yeah, so we're about right on time.
Yeah, but our damage numbers
we should pick it up a little bit then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was this entire you get to the end of the game where nobody did anything.
And
because Doga can't push enough, and your entire game plan revolves around you playing have Doga on the field and then playing Ursula to play Mashiri or to play Sophie. So you guys were not attacking, not doing anything, not pushing, not doing squat. And your entire game plan revolved around just hoping your opponent didn't outpace you in the Mashiri game. To where at the end of the game, you pushed for game and sat on a Mashiri.
Keeping your dudes alive by bouncing them back is also a good thing too. So yeah, and just drawing cards. Like it ran through the deck pretty quickly if it needed to. It basically never felt bad.
You literally just made sure your Sophie never could get removed. That's it.
Yep, because she just pushes. She just says touch him and pass.
Or you pick up Ursula so you can just play Mashiri. You can play it again when it dies. If they're going to board wipe, you pick up Ursula because it's going to let you pick up Sophie.
So next one, we have Stern Leonis, and I think, haste is granted.
Mashiri should stay banned.
Yeah, Mashiri should stay banned. Stern Leonis, I also agree should stay banned. Stern Leonis is you can go ahead, I'll jump in a sec. Opus 14, 4-drop Dark card, Prince, FFBE, that says that the cost required to cast forwards is reduced by 1. It's sickly gross. Whoops.
I like that you
Wrong one.
The entire
Wrong one. Can you pop the, what you call it?
I don't have that menu open. Oh.
Yeah, I wish you did. I need witching popped, or we're dead.
Where's the witching one? Fuck, I can't read.
Purple.
Purple? Okay.
Witching's purple. Cool.
Oh, wow, I'm about to die.
There we go.
I was also about to die.
That was rough. Yeah.
Real quiet though.
let me just read through this real quick here. The cost required to cast your forwards is reduced by 1, cannot become 0. He says remove 4 forwards in your break zone from the game. Select one of the 3 following actions. You either choose a forward and deal it 7k, choose a monster and break it, or until the end of turn, all the forwards you control gain 4k power and brave. He wasn't as impressive as Mashri was, but he was really good with a lot of forward heavy decks like Chocobo decks and whatnot. Because Stern Chocobo.
I would
is
love
really
to see
funny.
Stern come back. I
think he should stay banned.
I don't think he's that big of an issue.
I don't think, especially with priming existing, I don't think being able to make any of those dominants cost 1 less is worthwhile, or any other forwards in the game cost 1 less being worthwhile, in my opinion. Making Refia cost 2, I think is gross. I think making any of the warrior lights realistically cost less than they are is insane. I know wool still requires 4 because you need all 4 colors, so that's whatever. I just don't like that. I don't like that idea of that thought train with him. I think it's very unfair.
I just don't think there's space for it.
Especially in like Cat 8 decks that like to mill their cards, or like Chaos, for instance. Yeah. I mean, if you could fit the quote unquote reasonable thing would be if you could fit both of them. But just Cat 8 mill decks in general, where you're dumping forwards in your break zone, I think that card needs to be gone. I don't think that card's allowed to exist.
I'm always a big proponent of not banning anything. I'm just having fun.
Yeah, I get that, but if you're gonna have competitive play, you're gonna have to eventually ban it, you know.
We are way underpowered for this now.
We're just taking more than we need to. We don't need to fight everything. We just need to fight enough to get to the next level is really... That's kind of how we should be playing. Heal up. Don't you have potions?
Yeah, I was just trying not to use them.
That's weird. You should just use them. But yeah, I think Stern Leonis should stay banned. I think Stern Leonis... I just think it's too good. Like, making Raijin and Fujin ones is gross.
Here's the thing. I get the Raijin and Fujin argument.
Gross.
I think Raijin and Fujin is like the only one to worry about.
Making a Dia cost 4, I think, is really gross. I think the ability to just play essentially a mill deck with that, because he just works with mill decks anyways. You can virtually just play Gilgamesh, Giga Wool with him, quote unquote. You don't play the wool, but you still play a lot of the shit for Gilgamesh because you're dumping, and then whatever you don't need, you can remove for other things. Which I just think is gross. You looked into his eyes, weirdo.
I thought I looked away, but okay.
Yeah, Benedicta costing 2, so it's really pay 3 for Garuda instead of like gross. I mean, I get Garuda restands, but it's just the opportunity cost on that is insane. Open that for the strength. Okay, there we go.
You just want to go up?
Yeah, we're going. We don't have to explore every floor. So, or every instance
I'm just
of the
not
floor.
sold on Stern Leonis. I don't think he's as bad as the other things.
He's fine. I think you're crazy. James, why do I not play Glocka in my Lightning deck? Because he doesn't do anything else but reduce costs. But reducing costs is really good.
Reducing costs is cool. You have to be able to do something with the reduced costs.
Yeah.
So the deck
and
matters.
Stern does. Stern. It's not even with the reduced costs. The fact that he reduces costs, but he also does more things.
It's not about Stern doing something else. It's about Glocka. It's not even about Glocka not doing enough. It's about the cards you play off of Glocka not mattering with the 1-drop cost. Reducing it by 1 never mattered anything you were playing Glocka.
Card economy. It's just saving cards so I can use them for other things.
But card economy works all the way around everything.
Well, yeah, sure, but hold on, James. I'm sorry. You're telling me in a card game where your resource is either what you have on board, backup-wise, or your hand, that reducing something by 1, like a 3-drop being a 2-drop, isn't going to change the way that your deck functions or save you cards for other things you can play?
No, I'm saying it depends on the deck.
I don't think it depends. I think any deck. I think any deck gains value. I would say any deck gains innate value from being able to have a card that just says -1 on all your dudes.
I don't think that's true.
Okay, you're fucking crazy.
Because here's the thing: every time you played Glocka, it was almost a waste of space.
Titus being a 7 from Limit Break is a little gross too. Yeah,
it's cool.
It doesn't feel as bad.
It's very cool.
Sure, Glocka might feel like a waste of space, but that's also because Glocka doesn't do as much shit as Stern Leonis does.
I get it. Stern Leonis is cooler, but the deck has to have stuff it wants to do to make the -1 better. The reason Stern Leonis is good is not the -1.
So let's say, do you think a -1 works good in Wool? Do you think Wool does more with a -1?
Like Warriors of Light Wool? I don't think
Yes.
it
Or
matters.
Gigawool.
I
Do
don't
you
think
think
it
the next
matters.
one would matter?
I think the Gigawool it matters, but that's just
See,
because
that's where this is where I don't think we're gonna agree on this now, is because you don't think the neg matters at all unless the deck's catered towards it. But I think the neg matters in general.
here's the thing. In wool, you don't need to.
And you
you're
seem to
not
be
worrying about the
unwilling
neg
to
one.
admit that the neg matters, that the neg makes a difference and actually matters regardless.
It doesn't. In card economy, you have
Yeah,
to look at the
okay.
numbers you're trying
Then
to play.
we're at that point. We're
Gigawool,
gonna.
it matters because
We're not gonna agree on
it
anything.
makes
On
your
that.
7-drop a 6-drop. At that point, you're playing a light in the dark, and it's not going to function.
Yeah, James, I love you, my dude. We're not gonna agree on this. I think the neg one, regardless of if the deck's tailoring for it or not, still matters and still gives you value.
I don't think at all.
Especially because your limit break cards now cost 1 less, which I think is insane. So yeah, that's fine. I still think Stern should be banned. You think he has the potential to run around and do whatever?
I think I'd like to see him run around. I get why he's banned. I'm not like going for it all the way, but.
Next one, Sophie, restricted. I think Sophie should stay restricted. I think I like her
just
more
see Sophie
restricted.
gone.
Nah. I think Sophie's fine. She's a
I
really
still
cool
think
card.
she's super broken.
Yeah, but she's a one of. And
Yeah.
there's easy ways to deal with her. Once she's removed, she's removed. You don't have to worry about more coming in. So she's not as crazy as she used to be. Where people could play 3 copies of her and then you get rid of one and they're like, ah, dang, that sucks. Here's another one.
I just would rather see her gone.
Decks don't get tailored for her, but decks can be made that way that she could still fit in them and function relatively well. So I think I personally think Sophie is fine being restricted. I don't think she needs to be banned. You personally say that she should be banned just because you feel uncomfortable with her existing at a 1 of.
I would rather see her at a 3 of than a 1 of.
Yeah,
but
you're
I also think she's still very broken.
That's exactly what it is, but that has nothing to do exactly with the card itself. That's just you're uncomfortable.
Oh, I still think she's extremely broken.
Yeah, but do you think she's broken enough to be banned? Is the thing.
Yes.
Or do you think restricting her was
the only reason she is not banned is because there's no Earth Water deck that needs Sophie to be the main game plan. The only reason Sophie was getting away with how bad she was before was because
you could play 3 of her. That's what I would say.
Doga
personally.
and Mashari, you could protect her easier. When it's not as easy to protect, people are going to fly away from it because it doesn't serve a purpose if you're not going to just be able to bulldoze your way through it. If she sits behind a Siren, that thing never dies. And there's going to be almost nothing you can do to stop it.
Doga Siren.
We built a not Doga deck. And the entire idea was you sat behind Sophie and Siren. And here's the thing. Unless you have an immediate out, there's almost nothing you can do. Unless you
the not Doga deck that I'm thinking of when you say Siren was the Arc deck.
Yeah. You play Chaos, Siren,
I don't
Une.
think semi-limited matters in this. Is Yu-Gi-Oh 3 4 cards, right? Or is it 3?
3.
It's 3. I don't know. I don't think semi-limited matters as much. I think you just limit it to a 1 of, like with restrictions, or you just ban it. I think Final Fantasy is a game where an errata is not necessary unless it's just to clear up text specifically.
I don't think this ties into the other topic I sent you earlier. I don't think Final Fantasy community and Square Enix wise can support erratas. I don't think
for the erratas with the amount of reprints
I don't think Square Enix does enough with their game for it to matter.
But I also don't know if this is something specifically we blame on Square Enix or we put towards Hobby Japan, who actually.
Whoever runs Square Enix the card game has control over it. Whichever one's making those decisions. The one to not market, the one to what they pick for promos and stuff. I think those are the guys we look at. But like I can't say what the real problem is. I can just speculate and give my opinion on it on another podcast.
We'll get there.
I almost died.
Next card. Oh, we're in title format now.
Yeah.
Next card. I didn't even explain Sophie. Sorry, Sophie's a 2-drop, Earth Water, Monk, Mobius. That says for each Earth forward, other than Sophie you control, she gains 2k power. For each Water forward, other than Sophie you control, she gains 2k power. And at the end of each of your turns, if she has 10k or more power, you draw a card and she deals your opponent point of damage. So she is a sit on your hands type of card.
Which one are you going? You going this way? Okay.
I don't know. I just started moving. We are 1 floor off, so I can be a little lazy here. Not super lazy, though. Right now, it's just finding
I'm
the
like
exit.
not
Is really
healing.
fun.
How do I fucking heal?
I don't know. Do you have healing abilities or use potions?
Do I have my heals?
I'm not gonna fight everything in a room if I don't have to, by the way, as well. So, oh, that exploded in my face. Potion.
I don't have the right potion set up.
Oh shit, we attracted this. Whoops. Okay. But yeah, I think Sophie's fine, restricted. But if you want to ban her, you can ban her. I mean, it's whatever. It doesn't hurt too badly for that, so. I was gonna pick up another one.
I just think she's better than people think she is.
Silver Coffer has our out, so I'm heading that way. Next is the title format. So we have Jessie. She's from Opus 4. She's just a 2-drop Avalanche operative backup that just says your Cloud and Barretts cost 1 less. In title, I think that makes sense. There's too many Clouds, too many Barretts. Them costing less is gross. Cloud Pod being 1 is insane. The Barrett that top 4s for a dude on that's an EX and on attack, I think is insane. So I think she's fine being banned, personally. I think she'll net you too much, and especially with the new Barrett that we get, if title becomes any more crazy, that Barrett's really good to be able to go build a backup being Jessie, and then next turn pay 5, play Barrett, play something else. Is insane. So yeah, I think she's fine being banned. Next one is Fail Thanos. I don't actually know how this dude functions. James, you need to heal, please.
Thank you. I didn't realize that. I'm like slowly dying.
Next card is Fail Thanos. I'm just going to talk about that while we're doing this. Fail Thanos is a Opus 10 card, category 12. Agil. That says a 7-drop 9k that says summons and abilities of your opponent must choose Fail Thanos if possible. When Fail Thanos is chosen by your opponent, summons or abilities of cost 5 or less. Cancel its effect. Which means in title, you don't get to do anything. Almost at all. So I think that's fine with this card being banned as well.
Title, it's just preventing decks from not functioning when your opponent plays a Fail Thanos.
You want decks to function, and Fail Thanos says no.
There's not always good outs in every deck. So
next card in title is going to be Neo X Death. I think Neo X Death's gross. He is a 6-drop 10k Mobius Cat 5, that job none, that says he's also card named X Death in all situations. At the end of each of your opponent's turns, your opponent selects a character they control, puts it into the break zone. When Neo X Death is chosen by your opponent, summons their abilities, your opponent selects a character they control, puts it in the break zone. So Neo X Death just creates interactivity because you essentially don't get to play the game if you can't build out fast enough before he comes down. So I think, again, in title, that makes sense. It's very valid to just say no. I also will say, because title lets you play as many copies of named character, you could play X Death and Neo X Death, and then if you get the chance to, and your opponent basically just doesn't get to do anything, because at the end of their turn they blow up something, and at the end of your turn they remove something once X Death is live. So it creates a weird situation. Mobius is not allowed to have this, especially because Mobius has Maya to search it out and ways to protect it. So
honestly, just dropping it on the board turn 1, because title's such a slower format in general.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot less outs to things in title because you can't mix like you can in standard. Next card, hurts me to say it, but I agree. Opus 15 Lock. He's a 5-drop EX burst, Treasure Hunter, DFF, Cat 6. That says if you control 2 or more. Yeah, if you control 2 or more category 6 characters, the cost required to cast Lock is reduced by 1. EX burst when you cast a Cat 6 character, or sorry, Cat 6 card. That's important. Meaning like things like Unicorn work as well. Reveal the top card of your deck if it's a Cat 6 character, add it to your hand. If it's not a Cat 6 character, put it into the break zone. So he does just say draw. The meme would be Light Lock, that says you, at the start of your main phase, you can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and if one of them is a Cat 6, add it to hand or whatever, so you essentially draw 3, or it's top 2, one or the other, but you essentially draw 3. And then this lock that just says every time you play a dude, you draw a card. Definitely banned in title. There's no reason to keep this card up. Next, we have Y'shtola. She's a 3-drop Scion of the 7 Dawn 7k DFF category 14. When she enters the field, choose a forward the opponent controls. Until the end of turn, it loses 4k power for each job Scion of the 7th Dawn forward you control. And then you can dull an active John Scion of the 7th Dawn forward. Choose a category 14 forward. Until the end of turn, it gains haste and first strike. Gross. Insanely gross. Pulse of Creation. Special, pay 2 lightning. Duller, deal 9k damage to all forwards other than Giant Job Scion of the 7th Dawn. One, there's too many Y'shtollas in the game. This card would be so insane. It's just a board
100%.
wipe. Scions already function in and of themselves in Cat 14. So you just play a Scion deck and a bunch of Y'shtollas and you get a board wipe and your opponent really can't do anything about it. But also, I thought of this. It's really funny if you go like Alisei into Y'shtola and you play, for instance, Hien, because Hien is a category 14, and you give Hien haste, and now Hien gets to attack. And then he also says he restands everything. So then Y'shtola can tap for more things, or tapping Scions for more things anyways, to give everybody else haste so they can all attack right after, which I think is crazy.
It
So
also says you can play Hythlodius.
Yep, because it is a 14. So yeah, she also deserves to be banned. They thought smart on this one. And then lastly, second to last in title, because I think Japan had an announcement for their title one, which I want to get on as well. Celeste. 2-drop Ice Rune Knight, Cat 6, 5 cost or 5k. If you control a card name lock, Celeste gains haste. The card name lock you control gains haste. And then when Celeste enters the field, choose up to the same number of forwards the opponent controls as the category 6 characters you control and dull them. She just gives Locke the ability to go burn.
I think they just wanted to turn off Cat 6 from being.
They didn't want to make
disgusting.
it as fast.
So they turned off both engines.
Yeah. They turned off the really good lock engine.
They turned off the draw engine and the damage engine.
Because this Celeste gives her and lock haste. So like realistically, you could play any lock, but this Celeste will always give it haste. Move around a bit so we're not super inactive.
What? We're running out of time, you know.
Yeah. We'll fight this and we'll get into. Okay. I don't know how this fight works, so I'll play primary if you want to try and deal damage. Turn off your thing if it's not on. Sick. All right, let's do this.
I haven't turned it on once. I should probably turn it on now. But...
try and pay attention to see what it does. I don't remember its abilities, so.
Looks like it dropped an orb here. What's Ancient Eruption? Just blows up another zone and puts a thing on it. Cool. It's probably going to keep doing this. Yep. It's going to blank out the board. So you got to move it, Noah.
I know. I'm dragging.
It's going to choose me again. That's cool.
It's weird that it keeps going towards you when the aggro's definitely on me. But
it's just the same thing. It's the same thing it always is. He's going to spawn dudes now. That's cool.
I guess we both should get the ads, huh?
That's new too. Okay. Okay.
Nightmare boot.
This is gonna be cool.
I don't know what he's doing. Terror. That sucks. Yeah. Oh shit. Did I just get rid of... That's annoying.
Cool.
I can heal.
And then we're back to the same cycle, I'm guessing?
Think so? Don't touch them. That's all Ben said. I appreciate it, Ben.
No, backseat gaming. This is a podcast.
I'm moving him away from the things.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're just going to be circling the same thing. That's cool. So then this next one should be his last one. And he's going to spawn these dudes solid.
Watch out for the candles.
Yep. I wish when they did AoEs that hurt other dudes.
Where's the fun in that?
Gameplay. Game design.
You just want the game easier, James.
I want the game to make sense. When he does an AoE, why does not everything get hit?
Friendly fire, my dude.
Yeah.
It's just off. Oh, shit.
I mean, there's nothing we can do about it.
Okay, good. I did something there. didn't feel bad. What are my... Yeah, can I get my reprisal back? Thanks, game. No, please. God, this move feels so good to use. It's insane. I think this is the most good feeling move that I've ever used in this game so far. Is just fell cleaving things. I have a problem. Nice, we did it with 9 minutes to spare.
No, I want you to know we did not have 9 minutes to spare.
10 minutes ish.
No, I mean, Noah, we had less than 7, I think.
Oh, did it just buff us by 2?
No, it buffed us to 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes to leave the game.
No, what? Palace of the Dead floors 31 through 40, and it's counting down 9, 36, 35, 34. What do you mean?
We had 10 minutes when we started that fight.
I don't know. I thought we had like 14 or something. We did have 10 when we started, so it had to buff us by something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna try and pull it up, see what it says.
Okay, sorry. There was also, I believe, Edgar. I don't know what OPC's from, but 5CP Edgar that says on play pick up 2 Cat 6s was also banned in title, I believe. At least JP wise he was banned. I don't think it's official yet if it's the same for
Noah, I'm never gonna know. Our talking bubbles are over the thing. So I'll never know.
And then lastly, we have L6, which is just Amber, Opus 16, that says EX Burst. She's a 4-drop backup, and she's a Maurice Soiree member.
I don't think this will be banned for very long. I honestly don't.
In L6?
Yeah.
I mean, she'll probably fall off soon. She's from what? Opus 16?
Yep.
So she's not going to be, like, next set. I mean, she's gone in general, isn't she?
Huh?
Because we're in Opus 23. She wouldn't exist anyways.
Yeah, she's from the 2 ban lists ago.
Yeah,
she's from the same ban list they hit Locke and Celeste.
Yeah.
And then
so,
this time they hit Ishtola and...
but it made sense at the time just because
L6 format. Rays were the most consistent deck. Yeah.
Getting rid of their key card that says search out any of your dudes is really good. So
100%.
But yeah, so that kind of goes over the cards. Riku, I think, just to rehash everything here, I think Riku should be unbanned. I think
They've made really good choices altogether. So like I'm not.
I think Dataloma can be unbanned. I think Riku should be unbanned, and can be. That's where I stand on that. Guido stays banned. Dataluma, he can stay banned, but he's not going to do anything. I don't care. Gesper, keep it out. Thaumaturge, keep it out. Mione, keep it out. Althea, keep it out. Sildra, keep it out. Doga, unbanned. Unban Doga, 2025.
Unbanned and power creep it.
Unbanned and power. He's like, honestly, I think Doga's already fine.
If you want to ban Doga, give us a reason.
Mashri, stay banned. Stern Leonis, stay banned. Sophie, stay restricted. And then all the title bans all make sense in the L6 ban, which was Amber, is no longer in L6. I think is fine as well.
It's whatever. At that point, L6 it doesn't matter anymore. So.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think banning in L6 is weird, but I think I understand that one card, so it makes sense.
It just made Small Rays too good.
My goal is if title ever starts becoming as popular, quote unquote, as standard is, or as supported as standard, I want to get a Cat 10 card banned, because Cat 10's got too much shit, and Cat 10 is just going to end up hitting the same problem that they did with Locke in Cat 6, where I either draw out my whole deck or I build a board my opponent can't deal with immediately, and I just steamroll.
I think it depends on if they give you one with like a special.
Here, hold on. Let me explain, James. Okay. I need to. So we have a 4-drop Yuna that says restand all your backups on play, or play a Guardian of cost 2 or less from a break zone. Usually the restand's all you need. We have Riku, who makes any color, which is whatever. That's cool. We also have, well, I guess she's banned, so it doesn't matter. Well, she's not banned in title, so I don't know if Opus 1 Riku still counts or not. That's whatever. We have the Riku that makes any color. Not like it matters in title, but it's cool, because she's a backup, so she's searchable under Buddy, who will search out any backup you want, meaning Buddy can search Waka, which can cascade into Riku realistically if you wanted to, which I think is cool. We have access to YRP Pain that says restand 3, draw 1, because you have a Yuna or a Riku on board. We have Yuna backups, by the way, that are also searchable, either via Buddy, via Tidus, the light Tidus, or via Pain that just says search for a Yuna or Riku. Like, gross. I just think Cat 10's got so much consistency with its forwards that, like, if you wanted to, you could just play a deck that says draw restand and just build a board that your opponent can deal with. Especially because Brother restands all your Cat 10s, so you slam down 4-drop Brother, and you're like, oh, by the way, I have a Riku on board. Wow, that's weird. And you go, he's a 4-drop 10k that restands all of my cards.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like? How do you get around that in Title? How do you get around the fact that your opponent too many good searchers that are also EXs, that also debuild the board if they wanted to, Waka and Yuna, because names don't clash now, so you can play both of those in any set of Yuna that you want. You have the 2-drop Pain that, because it's Title and multicolor, like color doesn't matter, she's literally just pay 2, remove 2 cards and draw a card. Like, it just seems too good. Cat 10 just seems really good under Title.
I mean, Cat 7's about to be really good under Title still, too.
Yeah, I think the Barrett's cool. I think it builds back row better. I think is the best way to do it.
100%.
Like, it won't feel bad to go pay 6, one of them being an Avalanche and going play Barrett, play a Polk from deck and then Polk to pick up something.
Hopefully we do get a new Marlene or something.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm sure
know why they would put in the ability and not have like a new one, right?
They would probably ban Buddy Oliver. I agree, but I don't think Buddy's too much of an issue when you have a 3-drop Titus that says if you put a forward out, he's a 2-drop, and then he goes searching for
sure of how fast
a backup.
Ooh, Highlander
Titus searches for a backup. Riku searches for a backup. Like, crazy. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about it.
Highlander first of 4 40 card decks.
There's rules for a Highlander-esque format, or at least a Commander-esque format. That's for Final Fantasy. People have, like, there's a community set of rules for it.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
But nobody really plays it.
Time to make it better, Noah.
Right. Yeah, James, you got anything else you want to add on to this?
Oh, I got something we can add on to this.
That's gonna be too long.
What?
What were you thinking? Were you thinking of your other topics? Because I was like, that's gonna be.
No, I was thinking about the other thing we could do.
Oh, yeah.
The thing that is technically the purpose of today's podcast.
The other purpose. I don't actually have a picture of it though.
I have it to put on screen, so you're good.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah. I sent it to you, didn't I?
I mean, you sent it to me. I didn't know you had it. You were able to put it on screen yet.
I just took the image and I replaced your the core for your podcasting thing on this stream setup I have. I replaced your the core image, whatever one was there, with just that image, and then just like fixed it into where I wanted it.
Well, I guess let me know when you're about to put it up.
I can put it up at any second.
Go ahead.
Now presenting Abzu. Do you have the image on your screen?
Yeah, I have the image up.
Okay.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Super simple. Abzu. It is our spoiler for this season, right?
Yes.
Yes, we're in the right daytime now. I had to make sure. It's our spoiler for the season. It is a 3-drop monster, Cat 7, Cornero's pet, Cornero, Don Corneo. There we go. Corneo's pet. Thank you, Noah. The power of forwards the opponent controls cannot be increased by summons or abilities. Meh. During your turn, Abzu also becomes a forward with 7k power, and when he attacks, you choose a forward, and it loses 5k until the end of turn. Honestly, I'm not opposed to that. I do like the fact that it's a 5k reduction and not a 1k or 2k reduction, personally, because 5k...
even like a neg 3 seems bad.
Yeah, even neg 3 would seem bad. But 5, not so bad. Him being a 3-drop is meh.
Him being a 3-drop, like, I think his abilities by themselves, I think makes him like a cool solid 3 or 4, depending on how you want to play your deck. I think him being a 3-drop drops him down to like a 2 to 1 for me. Yeah, I still think he's very cool. I'd
take him in a 2-drop 5k.
Here's the thing. I was thinking about this a lot, Noah. I take him at a 2-5k that hits for neg 3. My purpose being is...
So he trades for 8s?
No. He swings, hits neg 3, and then you just which of the fins whatever's left.
Oh, sure. That's
So
fair. Yeah.
he hits for 10, right?
Potentially.
He swings and hits for 10 or hits for anything greater, right? So he trades with wool. Because he's gonna neg 3, drop the wool down to 7. Yep. Like here's the thing, he still hits neg 5, and which of the fin makes it neg 12, right? Which is super sick.
But which of the fins needs to be there first?
Which of the fins needs to be there?
But
he's a 3-drop that doesn't net you anything back. He has to sit. He's not allowed to attack the same turn. So like if your opponent does have monster removal, it's easy to get rid of.
It just feels bad with the 3-drop, man.
Your opponent, there are a lot of decks that do incremental or smaller like damage or power increases through summons and abilities, but it's not prevalent enough to where this card's going to be like, we gotta have this one right now. Like that ability is super good, but like there's not a lot of things you're worried about right now that increase power in anybody's deck. Yeah. I think the closest thing you get to is he hits Leo's buff on himself for backups, right? He hits, I'm just trying to think of all the things he could hit, and I'm drawing a whole lot of blanks. Like it's not that it's bad, it's just not good enough to me to be placed in a slot. I think at max he's gonna sit at a 3, like a 3 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
But he does have really cool tech you could do with Witch of the Fins, and as a one of, if you wanted it, I don't see it as a bad choice, especially because it becomes a forward and stops your opponent from increasing power on their forward, so you can still kill them easily. But other than that, I don't see him seeing much play.
Yeah, I don't see this card seeing play realistically. Overall, I just think, honestly, I think him being a 3 cost is the thing holding him back the most. There's too many water monsters.
There's one other deck that he'll be played in, and it's because you're going to play it.
Dancers.
Yeah.
He is a Cat 7 character. Yeah.
Yeah. That is the only other reason.
I might put it. Well, yeah, I might put it in a one of, but I'm still working kinks on that. You know.
Yep.
What do we need for Cat 10, Oliver? Is it a better Kamari? Because I agree. We don't have a Kamari that makes me want. I mean, the 4-drop one that we got this last set's cool, but it doesn't make me feel. In the meantime, you gone? Dude, a Cat 10 cost
God. Oliver, you shouldn't listen to what we're saying right now.
Why?
There's a new spoiler out.
What does it matter?
Well,
Oliver doesn't care about spoilers anymore.
I'm just making a joke. It's an Avalanche operative.
Hold on. I'm sure I can find it.
Ooh, this is real cool. It's still a little mid, but...
Still... Oh, is it this Tifa?
Yeah.
Let's read it. 4-drop, 8k, Avalanche operative. At the beginning of the attack phase, during each of your turns, choose a 4 controls. Deal 3k damage for each Cat 7 forward that has entered your field this turn. When Tifa attacks all the Cats... Yeah, she's mid.
It is very mid. I was real excited because I like having more Avalanche operatives, but it's really mid.
I just like the Tifa that, reduces her cost if a cloud's on board. The Tifa that reduces her cost and can be paid of any CP if there's a cloud within this. But yeah, I'm not going to complain about it.
No, I saw it because I was going to Materia deck for something to look at something. I need to go back to it so I can finish. I did not want to open the snippet thing. Where is it? I was going here for a certain thing and I saw a Tifa image that said spoiler. And I went, ooh.
But yeah, okay. We'll wrap it here. Overall, guys, Ben and Oliver, thanks. I was getting there. God, give me a second.
I was just helping you.
Thanks for jumping in, guys. I appreciate you guys being here.
New monster 2.
Nice when people jump in and chat with us.
There's a news game.
I'll get to that in a bit. Okay, James, chill out.
I'm going down the list of stuff. Oh my God, new ice limit break?
Jesus Christ, he's really going at it. So yeah, thanks guys for tuning in, and everybody who's
Oh
watching this
my
after the fact,
God.
thanks for watching. This will probably be an unlisted, what'd you call it? What's the word? Oh, it'll just be unlisted because I'm gonna put it up as an actual podcast with actual editing on top of it. So
Eventually,
it's gonna be a whole thing people can watch. Eventually, it'll probably go up, about a week
hopefully
from now.
soon. Yeah, hopefully soon.
I mean, I can
If-
put it up
if
soon.
you-
I'll probably put it up for
I'll-
Saturday.
If you could put it up by this weekend, so we can post the spoiler for everybody.
Yeah, I definitely can put it up by this weekend. So the official video will go up Saturday with small editing tweaks to showcase the cards, so you guys aren't just staring at us poorly playing through Palace of the Dead while also trying to do a podcast at the same time, because we thought this would be a great idea.
I mean, so far it's been fun.
I also don't know how I turned my character around. Let me turn back. There we go. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and as always,
Stay learned.